So to give us more time to prepare, I'm announcing today that we're going to ease the transition to electric vehicles. You'll still be able to buy petrol and diesel cars and vans until 2035. Even after that, you'll still be able to buy and sell them second-hand. We're aligning our approach with countries like Germany, France, Spain, Italy, Australia, Canada, Sweden, and US states such as California, New York, and Massachusetts.
On hard-pressed British families, how much will these changes save the average working family?
So I'm announcing today that we will give people far more time to make the necessary transition to heat pumps. We'll never force anyone to rip out their existing boiler and replace it with a heat pump. You'll only ever have to make the switch when you're replacing your boiler anyway, and even then, not until 2035. And to help those households for whom this will be the hardest, I'm introducing a new exemption today so that they will never have to switch at all.
Suggests that this risks putting you on the wrong side of history. Is this all because you're panicking about losing the election?
And when our share of global emissions is less than 1%, how can it be right that British citizens are now being told to sacrifice even more than others? Because the risk here, for those of us who care about reaching net zero, as I do, is simple. If we continue down this path, we risk losing the consent of the British people. And the resulting backlash would not just be against specific policies, but against the wider mission itself, meaning we might never achieve our goal. Next, can we go to ITV?
Prime Minister,
I'm confident that we can adopt a more pragmatic, proportionate, and realistic approach to meeting net zero that eases the burdens on working people. And that's the second part of our new approach. Now, I'm not saying there will be no hard choices, and nor am I abandoning any of our targets and commitments. I am unequivocal that we will meet our international agreements, including the critical promises in Paris and Glasgow to limit global warming to 1.5 degrees.
And it has exactly the same policy. So how is the policy you're announcing today any different from what the government's already committed to?
The Chancellor and Energy Security Secretary will shortly bring forward comprehensive new reforms to energy infrastructure. We'll set out the UK's first ever spatial plan for that infrastructure to give industry certainty and every community a say.
There is opposition on your side to some of this. Are you confident you can?
So I'm very confident that what we're doing is right, because not only do we have these world-leading targets, we're actually just doing it in a better way that will bring the country along with us and save families thousands of pounds. And there's nothing watering down about that. But that's why I have no problem whatsoever defending it, not just to my daughters, who, quite frankly, these aren't, it's not them who are going to have to fork out 10 grand, right? This is the families up and down the country right now who are working hard. Inflation is higher than any of us would like it to be, but thankfully today the numbers show that we're on track to bring it down. And the question is, I don't want those families to have to bear unnecessary costs at the same time as delivering all these things, and we don't have to. So I'm entirely comfortable with what I'm doing, and I think it's entirely wrong to describe it in any way, shape or form as watering anything down.
referendum?
No, I think we've had enough referendums, quite frankly. But I think the point about consent is important, and that's motivating me to do what I'm doing today. As I said, we haven't had an honest conversation about these issues in a long time.
You're changing gear and going to make some very big policy announcements and big high risk.